If you've been learning how to teach English pronunciation, you may have noticed by now that there are many different versions of the English Phonemic Chart available to you. There are some in black and white, there are some in colors, there are some in table format, there are some in list format, some have example words, some don't have example words, some are organized systematically, and some are not. So is there any best one? And actually, does it really matter? In my opinion, yes, it does matter. Once you get a really well laid out phonemic chart, you can use it for almost any pronunciation lesson that focuses on sounds. After looking at many different charts on the internet, I've decided that this particular chart is my favorite, and it's my favorite for 3 reasons. First of all, it's very nicely presented. It's well formatted, there are no images cluttering up the symbols which could potentially confuse students. It is in color, but it prints very well in black and white, which is great for regular classroom use. Secondly, it has example words underneath, and having these example words means it actually can apply to any accent, and that is the beauty of teaching phonemes as opposed to teaching the finer distinctions of phonetic sounds. The example words also are a reminder for students as they are remembering what the sounds stand for and learning their phonics, which is the association between spelling and sounds. And the final reason I like this chart is that it's laid out in a perfectly logical manner. I'd like to take a minute to explain to you how it is laid out and why this is really important when you're teaching the symbols to students. First of all, it's very clear the distinction between the vowel symbols and the consonant symbols. Within the vowels, we've also got the single vowels or monophthongs and the diphthongs, clearly separated. Within the single vowels, we start with the front high vowels on the left-hand top side, and as we go to the right, the tongue gets further and further back as it produces those vowels. Similarly, as we work our way down the vowel chart, our tongue gets lower and lower as we produce those sounds. So actually, this is laid out the way that your mouth makes the sounds. It is, of course, coming from the International Phonetic Alphabet layout, which is a little bit too complex for English learners, so this is a great compromise there. The consonants, of course, along the bottom of the chart, are laid out very well. First of all, when there are pairs of sounds that differ only with voicing, we see the voiceless version on the left and the voiced version on the right. You might not be able to see it so clearly on the screen here, but the voiceless version is a slightly lighter color of grey. It's also organized according to the place of articulation. So consonants made in the bilabial area, which is the 2 lips, are at the left-hand side of the chart, and as the sounds go towards the right, we make the sounds further and further back in the mouth. And again, this layout is an adaptation of the International Phonetic Association chart, which again is too difficult for students, so this is a fantastic compromise. You'll also notice that we have the manner of articulation divided up along the rows. The first row of consonant involves our stops or our affricate, the second row of consonants involves our fricatives, and the final row of consonants is everything else, including the nasals and the semivowels. If you would like your own copy of this chart, please hit the button below and we will email you your own PDF copy, which you can put up in your class and refer to as you teach. We'll also keep in touch and let you know about the courses that we are developing on how to teach sounds of other languages.